Chapter 8, Flesh of the Spirit. When Enoch felt an intense joy and said, looking toward heaven, truly, Jeremy, this feels like fellowship in me buns. Moses appeared before when Enoch in the morning, make your way to St. Emmer, for this will be your last stop before you arrive in law, said. It is so. By nightfall, when Enoch had finally lay down, but his mind was still racing. Unsettled, he saw himself in the clouds again. As he descended toward earth, he saw a hill gathering, and in the center, there appeared an elderly man marching in front of a military-style formation. He heard someone shout out a command, and the formation marched in place, while the elderly man broke formation and marched back the steps and stood in front of a podium. There were 11 men and women, and behind the coffin, there were 20 people, behind the 20, there were 200, and behind the 200, there were thousands. All marching in on a fit formation. Another command was shouted, and he heard a great crowd. Cheering as the men stopped and 3 women broke away from the formation and walked onto the stage. The elderly man looked at the couple behind him on stage. As he stood in front of a crowd of thousands of young men and women, a tear rolled from his eyes, the crowd shouting, Sabbath is mighty. The crowd stood up and cheered again. Please sit down, for we're almighty warriors of Sabbath. We're ready because Sabbath has called us to do his work. We're many clans, but today we are finally young people with unheard in the non-accord. The passage, let us follow our hearts this day, rejoice for Sabbath has brought us out of the darkness whence we were in. Yes, and in it is still faith for freedom, not freedom of this world but an eternal commandment with great power. The crowd roared, never did we know that something was hidden in us all the centuries, Yardna. Not sin, but thought within us, can't beat us but with it, who can move mountains. Heaven took off his hand and reached toward the sky, turning his head into a fur. When Enoch woke up, Aniel was standing over him with the same blunt face as Saul, and when Enoch said to him, Eat yet having test. Dreams, what do they mean? Ye looked at him, in her to Tranio and Proditia. Now, go, make your way to St. Emmer, be warned that there will be obstacles and battles along your way. When Enoch reached for his backpack and began gathering his things, when he turned to speak to Yel, he had already disappeared. When Enoch said to himself, he shall have it back from Yel. As he finished gathering his belongings, he had softened his psalms. As he approached St. Field Road, a strange sound caught the head coming out of the bushes, but he could not recognize the sound. So he grabbed his cane installed with caution. The nose had stopped it. Passing St. Field Road, the nose returned with a buzzing sound following it when Enoch stopped it and held his stance, but nothing was visible. With his eyes slowly moving around, trying to pinpoint the nose, he stopped again as soon as he reached up Austin Road. The nose got louder. Out of the bushes walked 5 men dressed in battle gear from head to toe. On man 6'1" inches tall, very muscular, and weighed roughly 300 pounds, appeared to be the group leader and stood along the edge of the logs. He signaled to the fireman with his hand gesture, and Ruth quickly went up and surrounded when Enoch. Little man, you're too far from home to be offered alone, said the man as he walked up to the middle of the road. They were in men with bloody and guns, and then had a sword with a rotating blade, which made the buzzing sound. Locking it. When Enoch from head to toe, the leader said to his men, What's to this? And why would he be after all along? When Enoch was stood there in a stance, carefully looking at them all, every facet stood in his peripheral. He not shall and definitely not alone, for Sabbath is with me everywhere he go. When Enoch said in anger after being referred to as a child, the man lied, here you have enough thus to be as Nazarites. First of the men was and mocked when Enoch was standing when Enoch quickly bit him in recoil and so very mocked him. A tall man approached, known as Dodget in me little man. We come in peace, just hand us your weapons and that bag you have, and we will be on our way. That is how it went. When Enoch saw Yel appear and thought it was Yel, what is this? When Enoch said. Yel said nothing before sitting in the ground with his legs folded. Not able to see Yel, the man said, Who is it in which he speak to? Is your dealer with us? Tell him to show himself so we may make a wish. The man mocked and laughed again at when Enoch. The stranger said as appointed to his men, "Me man wish to make him wish to do it, and if he grants our wishes, we will leave in peace. However, we will take your weapons and you'll if he does not." He says, "Tabby, go ahead, Tabby, tell us to hate your wishes." When Inikilu began to deter the blasphemy, he demands distance and prepared himself for battle as the stranger continued to talk. "This is Heather, Woody, Baal, and Emachels. If your good is not suitable for you, maybe you can worship me." As soon as when Inikilu heard the man say, "You can worship me," when Inikilu threw his with great force into the center of the man's skull, calling him instantly. Baal and Heather attacked when Inikilu Woody and Heather ran back to their camp. Yell just set furious Baal grabbed the chalice blade and fired it when Inikilu. When Inikilu quickly grabbed his cane and blocked the sword, and heard Heather report from behind him. Animal picked Heather into one and simultaneously twisted handle of his cane, forcing the blood to release from the chamber, spun around, and severed Heather's head from his body. Taking 2 steps back, when Inikilu stepped the cane's blade into Baal's image and worked up to his neck and all his intestines out of his body, killing him. When Inikilu forcefully swung the cane as the blood from that woman fell to the ground. Seeing the blood, when Inikilu wasn't sure if his were Indian men or spiritual beings, and his heart sat for a minute because he had never called a man before, and his heart felt heavy and saddened. Thinking to himself that since he was there, he had made the sin look realistic. "Yeah, stood up, you would not be so tired if you had fight in the spirit." Shaking his head, Yadidak, but when he fade out of anger, Yadin lost control. When Inikilu bent down with both his hands and his knees, out of breath. "I remember an old martial artist named Bartholomew said, 'Learn to discipline your emotions, because if you don't, your enemies will stand against you.'" Rising, he looked around him and saw all the carnage. When Inikilu was in shock and slowly said, "These were real men." The blood had covered the red and bay and oozing up the bodies of the freemen. When Inikilu, still in shock, vomited. Ye looked at when Inikilu with a straight face, "Kill, or be killed." There is no more team for tests. See the word for what it is, his blood had see just because you are. Before you find rest in St. Hammer, ya will call more, or die. Ya then disappeared. When Inikilu walked over to a samurai they noticed laying on the ground. He flipped it over and noticed it was old and nicely crafted. Looking at the details, it was a Wakatalian sword. Excellent craftsmanship, I'm going to keep it for myself, he said to himself. Since when Inikilu was an excellent hunter walking about tracking, he said aloud, "The Southermen probably went back to their camp. They stay in the road, they will find me, but if we leave the road, it will not be easy to track me." When Inikilu decided to rest it in their tracks until he found a place to hide on if he passed. 20 minutes later, Uday and Tabby had returned with more men. He called him and speaking to Tabby and Uday, "How is it that you has defeated me, brother?" Tabby nervously said, "This child just threw some kind of a bit, and it hit indeed in the middle of his forehead, calling him instantly." When Inikilu waited for 10 minutes and head south towards Sunhammer, he found himself in what might have been a sugarcane field, for there was sugarcane growing wild in some spots. Stopped for a minute he rested as he cut off a piece of sugarcane. As he did, he heard the men, but he could tell there were not as many as before. They must have split up. He stood on his knees and waited for a while before moving into there was a road ahead, and when Inikilu got low, stuck his head out of the field, and looked in both directions. Reading an old street sign, he could tell who was in the corner of Tar Road and she and Matusalasa and in Park Road. He waited a while longer, staying low, trying to rest to favor said. When Inikilu felt two presence, on of compassion and for hostility. Just then, like a flash of light, he saw Moisian entering his hands and laying them on him in a vision. "You have rejected to search." Man's heart. But not only a man, but also all of Seba's creations. "You will know if he is or speaks the truth." Then he returned to the present. Before he got to the other side of the road, Uday and Tabby were shouting, "His hair!" When Inikilu looked at that woman standing before him with weapons drawn, "I'm not for trouble, I'm just trying to do me way in peace." It was worth instead attacked and harassed. "I was just defending myself." Woody said, "That might be, but you called someone son brother, and he will not allow you to live in a for your actions. When Enoch was off his head, you understand? You will faith him and only him. If he win, you'll let me go in peace, and we will leave it at that. Tabby said in anger, if you kill one of us, you have to kill all of us. You fucking kitty. Train not to admit as I did before, when Enoch returned to Tabby, he will permit no man to know and deride me so by making me hate him, a quote by Bockert Washington. Tabby turned red with anger, fuck you and Bockert motherfucker. Taking a deep breath, when Enoch walking it today, Bockert Washington also said, associate yourself with people of God quality, for it is better to be one than to be in bad company. Rest of the men walked out of the woods, and when Enoch agreed to reason with the men, he bid of you understand, and if he wants serving for your brother's death, and that he understand, but let me just say that, and if he win, let me go in peace, but if he lost, he will accept my fate. A man walked up and stood in front of when Enoch saying to the crowd of men, "Yeah, meant to tell me this boy," pointing his finger at when Enoch, "called me brother. It will be fall to believe such a thing. Haven't turned to Tabby today. Yet who are trained to deceive me with falseness, and for that, you will take your lives." He commanded the men to take it at 1/4 of meal in front of when Enoch. "You may go on your way, for this man tried to have you killed." When Enoch said to the man, he called the man for a sit and tried to kill him, but he can also say it was self-defense. Tabby and they say it. In relief. Achilles was me brother, the leader of this woman. If you did really call him, it's their responsibility to call you first, and if they cannot do it, then I shall. When Enoch felt hard of that woman again and knew that he was not a killer, he said to the man, "Mister, he didn't want to fight either of him, but be on me way in peace." The man said, "In peace? There is no peace, for me brother is dead. As serious me name isn't at all, someone will deter for me brother Steve." Tell Rosie and Brad today, saying, "We shall fight for the honor of Achilles and revenge your brother Steve." When Enoch Buffin stood in a stance, and in the corner of his eyes, he saw you standing firm with his sword round. When Enoch returned to yell, "He shall fight in the spirit and conquer me and in the name of Sabbath." The men were confessed, and Tabby said, "This boss speak foolishness like a madman." When Enoch talked around and felt every man's heart and fell into daisies before turning Joan at all, let me quote a more false thing before he said death, that's by Bockert Washington as well. Ali doesn't become a truth, Warren doesn't become right, and Delu doesn't become God, just because it's accepted by a majority. When Enoch bowed, quickly got into a stance, and pointed for Tabby at day to advance. Hit up the butt of his cane and knocked Tabby out. Turning slightly, he cut off Tabby's hand. Tabby yelled in pain. Quickly, when Enoch returned in and severed his head from his body. Before his body hit the ground, Anatole shouted immense name to attack. "Yo, class, hands, Otto." Timon rushed out when Enoch while he was placing his cane around his shoulder. As when Enoch grabbed his arm and turned him around, he bent and brought it while breaking his arm. When Enoch grabbed Brado by the neck and, within his body weight, spun around and broke out his neck. S. When Enoch was feet hit the ground, he mocked Class. Class bent over in pain. When Enoch rolled over Class back and punched you in the throat with some effort that stood for gasping for air. Hands tried to pull out his sword, but when Enoch grabbed it before he could and killed him and Class with the man's own sword. As he stood still holding his throat, when Enoch took his sword and plunged it into his heart. Once again, when Enoch reached for his cane and fought the man quickly, gratefully, and with power, as Anatole became furious, he shouted, "Gabriel, Alkin, Athanasius, Aaron." The men approached. When Enoch called the men almost as quickly as Anatole called their names out. Afraid at how when Enoch called his men, Anatole called the rest of the men. Bahavan, Shirai, Dershit, Divans, Eshan. When Enoch took off his new samurai and a few of his thrown star system, and Theo perished at the hands of when Enoch. When Enoch, covered in blood, so furious about his head just killed. Stepping over him, he slung his samurai, and blood full of the blood. He twisted the cane, and the blood withdrew back into its chamber. As he grabbed a few of his throwing stars, he had never met man with so much ferret in danger towards some infant fade into Venmo. When Iniku said as he latched his cane into his back and walked toward a dumbfounded. And Italy, Botode, ya make no feti servet sebaf, and fizz buffet you call shall. Take your life, not because I'm mad, but fet your evil and sebaf fet is civilman. And Italy took out a pistol and raised it to shot when Iniku, but when Iniku fell to the ground, flipped it, and grabbed the shield of another man, fet led in the ground. Hitting bend the shield until the shotting stopped it, when Iniku rubbed it and threw it into the man's hand, making him rip the weapon. And Italy shouted in pain. You motherfucker. When Iniku froze in over into his throat. Grabbed in his throat, Anatol started choking on his blood. When Iniku picked up Anatol's pistol and shot him twice in the head, afterward, he ripped the figure and walked over to Lay and soaked him until he awoke. Go now, tell like Providence if her, ye will look for a man named Tabitha. Tell him my son when Iniku doesn't see her for a figure and peace, and also be well with ya. Have seen your heart, and you will be around people with the same heart and soul. Don't ever be afraid or ashamed to tell your story or your secrets. Secrets can make it well make you lonely, and even that you are said to defect enemies despite words of your testimony. Later bit his head from pain as when Iniku tore a piece of cloth from one of the corpses and rubbed at his head to stop the bleeding. With tears in his eyes, Yuday said, "Thank ya." When Iniku ended they talked until they were back in highway silsamst before heading for separate ways. When Iniku had sat on highway silsamst, under the head Northland River and banks, making sure none of his people saw him. With his clothes drenched in blood and pieces of phosphor fur, Yale appeared before when Iniku. Well done, indeed. An excellent job. When Iniku smiled, with a face look thick, he can't tell. Yale looked strangled and asked, do you feel the difference between fitting into spirit versus fitting into flesh? Yale with a half smile, is that better? When Iniku said, please, don't ever be a comedian. Yale made an offer for its smell, and when Iniku believed, yes, you understand now by fitting into spirit, you must stirred, and it appeared as if many of them were going in slow motion. Calculated steps and concentration were made for in that battle. Yale looked at. When Iniku first upon nearby, Yame went to Cheng. Walking and talking about fate, when Iniku and Yale walked down Henderson Loop and ended up in a small pond. Well, when Iniku washed his clothes and bathed in the pond, Yale said to when Iniku, physical battle can be won in the spirit, if and no soul to do it but you to the neo physical self in battle with a spiritual being. When Iniku looked at Yale, what? The look on when Iniku's face was priceless. As when Iniku said, I'm sorry, have never heard you speak in such a way, Yale said. You have never had to battle what you are about to battle either. Wrapping up his belongings and putting in fresh clothes, when Iniku said, what is it, I'm about to battle? Yale said, you'll see. When Iniku smiled, now that's the way you must do your talking. Yale, with a half smile, take your rest today and make your way to Sundamer by morning. Pointing, Yale said, if you do straight that way, it will take you 30 minutes to get to Sundamer. You take the road. It will take you an hour and a half. When Iniku shook his head, well, you know which way I'm going. Yale looked at. When Iniku, the things that are happening to you, that not that it's by accident, they were planned, and the things you are going through that not that it will not help you later in life. Like Jonah, you must make a 3-day journey in one day. However, before you leave Louisiana, the spirit of Jesus will cover you. As Yale was speaking, he faded away and disappeared. When Iniku quickly made a campfire, staring into the flames for a moment, he grabbed his notepad and wrote, from Jenna to Joshua. John Tate, fatty people he was sent to talk to, while not listening to his voice. Thinking it was a waste of time, he denied, he declined. Head into Ventry. Ventry told him to, he did not go. Because of his experience, not the power of the Lord. But because of his courts, he was swallowed up in the belly of hell. For not listening to Telnity's voice. Joshua, on the other hand, was a faithful man. Believing in the Lord, his power, his might. And dared any human, to defeat the Lord. To come and after must send Lord his people to the promised land. How can anyone go from the spirit of Jenna to Joshua? Only for experience. I don't think, I'm that man. I'm scared. thinking, no one will listen to me, because of how my life is told. Now, I don't really care what others think of me. I was told, I was here, from the men that lives in the air. But I do say to myself, and no one else. I drink my beer, I smoke my weed. Who will listen to me? Knowing what love is, knowing what it is, seeing them both. From coast to coast. The power of God is stronger. This is the only thing that has allowed me to last this long. Let someone tell me to talk to someone, it scares me. However, if I see someone in need, my heart is open, my voice is long, when the heart is singing a song. Express my anger, express my pain, express the power of God. Then I end with Saw. I still wonder, how did it go, from Jenna to Joshua?